Welcome to WrestleRecap. I am Dylan Graives, joined by John Sutton. This is the Smackdown Recap. If you want to support WrestleRecap, you can like, share, and subscribe. But with that being said, let's get into this. So, SmackDown kicks off with a flashback to Backlash, and we are told that, hey, if you didn't know, it's a new era.
It's a new era.
We then get a Queen of the Ring graphic that shows us that Naomi will face Nia Jax, Jade Cargill will face Piper Niven, Michin will face Tiffany Stratton, and Bianca Belair will face Candice LeRae. Michin versus Tiffany Stratton took place at a WWE live event. Unfortunately, it has already taken place at the time of this recording, so we cannot go with guesses to earn points. We then get a King of the Ring graphic telling us that AJ Styles will take on Randy Orton, Baron Corbin will take on Carmelo Hayes, LA Knight will take on Santos Escobar, and Angelo Dawkins, replacing the injured Bobby Lashley, will take on Tama Tonga, with LA Knight versus Santos Escobar taking place at a live show. We then kick off the show with Nick Aldis in the ring to call out Cody Rhodes to come down to the ring. Of course, Cody obliges. Nick Aldis congratulates Cody on retaining his title, and he tells Cody that his next challenger has already been determined, and that is none other than the Maverick, Logan Paul.
Mid. At first.
Well, I mean, Logan Paul being U.S. champion, becoming the challenger for Cody's championship, fits right in with the whole old school aesthetic that Cody Rhodes is going for.
Yeah, but it feels like more like the way the promos went, it kind of felt like a, when John Cena won the WWE title and then the US title. Feels very similar to me, and I don't know why.
Well, I mean, it's going to be winner takes all. So whoever wins will walk out with both titles. And I got to assume that it's going to be Cody Rhodes that comes out of this on top. I don't see them having him lose to Logan Paul.
I can't see him losing either, but, there's a few times already where we've been wrong on some bigger matches, I guess.
I feel like this is going to be Logan Paul losing upwards. I think they're going to get the U.S. title off of him to free him up for having the Money in the Bank briefcase. And then
the Prime briefcase?
Yeah, he'll decorate it with Prime. And then he'll go on to cash in and become a world champion at some point. I also feel like this gives Cody a reason to compete on weekly TV with the U.S. title, where he might do an open challenge for it. Possibly.
And then surprisingly lose it to somebody.
Yeah, I mean, they'll have to think of a way to get the titles split off of him. Whether or not that be Cody just holds both of them until someone inevitably cashes in Money in the Bank on him, or he loses the world title and then still has the U.S. title. It'll be interesting. It's always a fickle game that they play when they put two titles on one person.
I wouldn't be shocked if he just does the open challenge and somebody who, should be in the U.S. title picture wins it. it's more towards the top wins it.
Yeah, the issue with doing an open challenge and having somebody beat Cody for the U.S. title while he's still world champion, it then opens up the realm to the I've pinned the champion, I deserve a title shot at the big title. Or it just opens up too many things to criticize with.
Stranger things have happened, I guess, but I don't know. That's just my idea. It's just somebody comes along and beats them.
Yeah, it'll
I
be
mean, to be
interesting to
fair,
see.
I didn't think that. And we'll get into this later on our other show, but I didn't think Judgment Day would get back into the tag team picture.
God, what were the teams involved in that?
New Catch Republic.
Where is that at?
This is New
Day, Creeds, New Catch Republic, AOP.
Yep.
I guess out of these teams, I would have predicted Judgment Day to win. Just because AOP's not popular enough to have, like, they haven't
AOP
done enough
AOP.
to get. Yeah, they keep getting put in fatal 4-way tag matches, and then they rarely ever actually do anything in the match.
Yep.
Like, I don't think that they were legal at all in this entire match. Or in that entire match. But we'll get to that. Cody says that he thinks he knows what Logan Paul wants to talk about. And Logan says a champion versus champion match, or a champion versus champion main event to truly kick off the Logan Paul Levesque era. We then get Logan sucks chants from the crowd. Cody calls it a challenge that he likes before Logan calls himself the longest reigning champion in WWE, which he actually is at this point. He calls himself the greatest attraction in the company, which clearly he hasn't been paying attention because that's obviously Cody Rhodes. Also, he's the longest reigning, but I think he's only had 2 title defenses. So, you know.
I think the last one was at WrestleMania, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it's not like, he's defending it all that often, I guess.
Like I said, I'm pretty sure he's only had 2 title defenses.
Yeah. Well, he won it?
What's up?
Didn't you win it at SummerSlam?
Probably. I don't remember.
I can't remember.
But he caps it off with saying that he's had the greatest rookie year of all time. Now, if he's talking as in a rookie to pro wrestling as a whole, I don't have numbers to combat that claim. But if he's talking greatest rookie year in WWE history, I have some numbers to disprove this, because Sheamus won the WWE Championship in his first 6 months, beating John Cena. And Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar won the WWE Championship in 126 days. So if he's trying to say that he's the best or had the best rookie year in WWE, he is sadly mistaken. However, if he's saying it's the best rookie year for pro wrestling as a whole, I'm not sure that anybody can beat that claim.
And we'll probably never find out.
I mean, if I wanted to spend hours looking through, I could probably determine it, but I don't want to spend that long just trying to disprove one thing that Logan Paul said. I'll leave that for the true internet haters. Logan Paul then calls himself a superstar, and he calls out a fan in the crowd that had a sign saying that it was his 11th birthday, and his wish was to meet the wrestlers. Logan Paul tells him, "Congratulations, you met a superstar." Logan Paul then goes on to say that Cody may have won at Mania, but all anyone was talking about was I Show Speed and Prime, and the crowd chants Prime sucks.
And also, no one was talking about that either. They were definitely talking about Cody Rhodes winning.
Yeah, nobody. The only thing people cared about from that match was Kevin Owens giving Randy Orton a ride down the ramp on the golf cart.
Oh, yeah. That and who was in the Prime bottle this year.
Oh, yeah, because nobody knew who he was.
Yep.
Logan Paul then calls the crowd virgin inbreds. And he says that he's going to pin Cody on top of his logo, that being the Prime logo, and walk out undisputed WWE champion. Cody calls him a dumbass. Probably paraphrasing. I doubt that Cody Rhodes just straight up said that he was a dumbass, but hey, you never know. It's been a day and a half since I watched this. Cody then runs through all of Logan Paul's accomplishments, like life accomplishments, so that includes like launching Prime and all that jazz. Cody says that winning the U.S. title would make him a WWE Grand Slam champion. Logan tries to speak, but Cody stops him, and Cody basically says he's going to put Logan in his place. Overall, I guess, and later in the show it's announced that they'll do the contract signing next week. But I like this challenger because I would assume that it's something that the Saudi reps demanded. From what I've heard, they decide the matches and WWE just has to work out how to make them fit in the storyline, and then obviously determine who's going to win and whatnot. But from what I understand, it's the Saudi officials behind the show that decide what the matches actually are.
So they're the ones that are having women matches too then, which is odd.
What's that?
I said they're also the ones that had the women matches too.
Right.
Which is odd, unless that was a WWE pitch saying, you guys can pick the match, but we want this.
I don't know that they dislike the women's matches. It's just for some reason dislike women in their culture. I don't know.
I'm not gonna get into it.
Yeah, that's far beyond the political realm in which we are here to discuss. But fuck that Saudi blood money. What? What? Did you hear something?
God damn.
Caleb Braxton then interviews AJ Styles ahead of his King of the Ring match with Randy Orton. AJ talks about Backlash and blames the French crowd for distracting him with their chants. What a heel. What a heel maneuver to take probably the greatest crowd in history and spin it around and blame them for his loss.
Oh, heels are hit there. Oui.
Yeah. He says that he's going to earn another shot at Cody's title, and winning King of the Ring is a phenomenal step in that direction. We then head to the ring because it is time for a round 1 Queen of the Ring match as we get Naomi versus Nia Jax. I don't think there was really any question of who was going to win this match, but it's
Hornswoggle?
So it maybe Santina. But Alicia Taylor is officially the SmackDown ring announcer with Mike Rome moving down to NXT. We get a QR code that flashes across the screen for the Uncle Howdy tease. Naomi hits an S dive against Nia into the barricade and landed some punches before Nia pushed her off and hit a Samoan drop to take us into the first commercial break. When we come back, Nia Jax is in control, but Naomi fights back and hits a split leg moonsault for 2. Naomi puts Nia up top, like actually lifts Nia up top, and hits a Hurricane Rana from the second rope for 2. Nia fights back into it and hits the Annihilator to win, though. So, exciting stuff.
Stuff and things.
Yeah. I mean, it just seems like they don't really know what to do with Naomi. Because Nia Jax was obviously going to win this match. Because they're trying to push Nia Jax towards a title shot. And ever since Naomi came back, it just feels like they have no clue what they're going to do with her.
Well, she did kind of get overshadowed by Jade Cargill coming into play, so.
Oh, for sure.
She just got lost in the mix. I'm sure they'll figure something out, but she's just kind of lost in the mix right now. They don't have a plan yet for her, but they'll figure it out.
Maybe. Hard to say.
This isn't the He Who Shall Not Be Named era anymore.
Yeah, but only so many people get TV time. And I don't know, the Raw women's division has shown us that they don't really have much of an interest in building a women's division beyond a handful of people. So it'll be interesting to see where they go from here. And if they can start building up these women's divisions to be more than just like 3 or 4 big names at the top, and that's it.
It's going to be another women's revolution.
I mean, they should do another Evolution pay-per-view or PLE. Why not?
Because it seems like they do one like every 3 years because they get down to like 2 or 3 women on each show, and then they're like, we need more women, and then they get more women, and people are like, too many women.
They haven't done a Evolution since the only one that they ever did.
You know what I mean? They push the women's division.
Well, yeah, they pushed it. They pushed it when they had the 4 horsewomen, but now Charlotte Flair is hurt, which is only going to do good for her character because, my God, everybody was sick of seeing Charlotte holding a championship. It was like every single time she was on TV, she was either challenging for the title or working on challenging for the title. They've
that
not
was a He Who Should Not Be Named move.
Well, I mean, they've not done anything with her besides push her to have titles. Like, make her be in a feud just for the sake of not liking somebody. It doesn't have to be like, oh, Charlotte's here, give her the title.
But if she feuds with somebody, how will she win a title?
She don't have to.
No, won't do it.
Anyway.
Can't do it.
Byron Saxton interviews Baron Corbin backstage, and Corbin reflects on his previous main roster run, like his various characters that he played, before Carmelo Hayes interrupts. Hayes takes a shot at the fact that Corbin was a social media draft pick and not an announced draft pick. And Mello says that Bobby Lashley dropped out of the tournament at the thought of having to face him. We then get a vignette for DIY on SmackDown before it is time for Baron Corbin versus Carmelo Hayes in a round 1 King of the Ring match. During Carmelo Hayes' entrance, we are once again told that it's a new era. in regards to how the King of the Ring tournament is going to be perceived. But nevertheless, it's a new era, so that's a shot.
Shots!
It's a back and forth start before Corbin gets a 2 count off of a fisherman driver ? I'm not quite sure what exactly the maneuver was. But following that, we headed into a commercial break. And when we come back, Corbin is in control before Carmelo Hayes manages to take control. Mello escapes the deep 6 but gets caught with a Death Valley driver followed by a suplex for 2. Mello hits a first 48 and a knee shot, but Corbin gets out of the way of the nothing but net. Corbin hits a suplex cutter for 2 before Hayes counters the end of days, and then Hayes ends up picking up the win off of a small package roll-up.
I think there's a lot of surprise winners here in this King of the Ring.
Well,
because, I mean, Carmelo Hayes, he's good, yeah, but I was like, I could also see Baron Corbin keep going so he could retain his King of the Ring name.
Well, Xavier Woods is the defending King of the Ring.
I know, but I figured they would keep Corbin in a little longer than just round 1.
The problem is they want to push the new NXT guys and gals. So
he is a new NXT person.
Yeah, but Baron Corbin's been on the main roster before.
Yeah, I know.
They want to push Ilya, Mello, Lyra. Was there anybody from SmackDown women's roster that? No, I don't think so. But they want to push those 3, but obviously none of them are going to make it to the finals. Or, well, Lyra stands a chance, I think. Who does she face again? I'm getting ahead of us for she faces Io. I don't know. It does just kind of feel like they're running the same story, though, with Ilya, Mello, and Lyra. So maybe Lyra does make it to the finals just to break up that, because I don't expect Mello to make it to the finals. And we know that Ilya's not going to make it because Jay beat him on Monday.
Yep.
But I don't know. I don't want to see all 3 of them have the same thing, which I guess we won't, but now Carmelo Hayes and Lyra could end up the same. So maybe they have Mello lose here in the, what would it be, the quarterfinals?
Second round quarterfinals.
Yeah. And then have Lyra make it all the way to the finals. Who knows? We're then taken backstage where Kayla Braxton interviews Bayley. Bayley says she's interested in seeing how far Jade can make it in the Queen of the Ring tournament before Chelsea Green and Piper Niven interrupt. And Chelsea Green says that Piper is going to eliminate Jade. Lols. We then head into a commercial break. And when we come back from commercial break, Byron Saxton interviews Randy Orton. And Randy says that he's accomplished a lot in WWE, but never King of the Ring. And that hitting AJ with an RKO will feel phenomenal. Randy calls out Tama Tonga because they're both in the King of the Ring bracket. And he points out how they're on opposite sides, meaning that eventually they would cross paths, but not till later. It's then time for Jade Cargill versus Piper Niven. The match starts out with a test of power between the two before Jade takes control. Piper fights back and hits a senton for 2, Wade Barrett says that he's never heard a cat get castrated, but he suspects it sounds like Chelsea Green's voice.
What do you mean? She should be employee for the employee of the month.
Sure.
She's got that Karen vibe. She ain't employee of the month.
She also lost an NXT Women's Championship match on NXT.
That doesn't matter. She's employee of the month in her eyes. Go play off the Karen thing.
Chelsea
It's
Green.
gonna be a thing.
It's not. Chelsea Green gets a slap in on Jade while the ref was busy with Piper. But Jade fights back and gets a 2 off of a Blue Thunder Bomb. Chelsea Green tries to distract Jade, so Jade just takes her out with a forearm shot. Jade looks to hit Jaded, but Piper Niven escapes, and Piper gets a 2 count off of a cannonball. Piper starts going up top, but Jade pulls her down and hits a pump kick, followed by Jaded to pick up the win. So it'll be Jade versus Nia Jax in round 2. And honestly, I don't think I can 100% pick a winner for that match. So, with that being said, let's make it a game for points.
So it's Jade versus
Jade Cargill versus Nia Jax.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jade. I think they're gonna try to use the Queen of the Ring to propel her up towards the top, even though she's already at the top. But well, I don't know. It feels like a finals match right now, but it's not.
The problem is, I know that they want to push Jade and they want to push Nia, but they're also going to push Bianca on the other side of the bracket, and I don't think that they want to give us Jade versus Bianca as a throwaway Queen of the Ring match. Similar to how I knew that Ilya wasn't going to defeat Jay, because they don't want to give us Ilya versus Gunther in a rematch for their big rivalry that they've had as a throwaway semifinals match in King of the Ring. Now, I don't recall how exactly the bracket is going to shake out. Let me pull up the bracket here. Why do you say that you have a bracket and then you just give me the list of who's in it? Don't lie to me, Yahoo.
I lied.
My God, I just want the bracket. Why does everybody say bracket but nobody has a bracket? Okay, let's
Look
just
up
try
an image of it.
Yeah, let's just try images.
We'll get there.
Okay, well, that's only a partial image, so that's not helpful. That's King of the Ring. I specifically asked for Queen of the Ring, so that's not helpful. Okay. So, round 2 is Nia versus Jade and Bianca versus Tiffany Stratton. Man, do they have Tiffy beat Bianca?
It's Tiffy time.
I'm torn on this one. SmackDown's got a good bracket going.
I'm gonna go with Tiffy time and Jade.
You're gonna
Sticking
go
with my
with
original.
Okay, so you're gonna go Jade Cargill Tiffany Stratton. I'm going to split the difference, and I'm going to say Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. I'm going to say that Jade and Bianca both get eliminated.
Oh, spicy.
So we'll have to see how that shakes out next week, or this week on Friday in 2 days. During the post-match, while Jade is headed up the ramp, Bianca Belair comes out, and the two of them have a brief celebration at the top, or like by the stage, ahead of Bianca's match with Candice LeRae, which is next. It was kind of wild that they put 2 women's matches back to back. Just not something that we normally see. We head into the commercial break, and when we come back, we get a vignette for Shinsuke Nakamura on SmackDown. Hopefully he's going to be used better with Triple H running the show. You know, because it's a new era.
Gatekeeper.
I hope he does better than that. But then it's time for Bianca Belair versus Candice LeRae. Bianca takes control early before sending Candice back into the ring, following, like, swinging her into the barricade. While Bianca is getting back into the ring, Indy kind of hits her with a chop block. Candice LeRae goes for a small package roll-up, but Bianca just stops it and turns it into a suplex. Candice LeRae starts targeting the left knee, which is the leg that Indy did the chop block on. But in the end, Belair manages to pick up the win off of a KOD. So that, personally, I feel like the injured leg is going to come back in the match against Tiffany Stratton, and I think Tiffany is going to continue to target that leg, and that's going to allow her to escape with the victory.
Yeah, the only thing that was odd, like, when I was watching that, was it felt shorter than Jade's match, which
it was
seemed odd to me.
It was definitely shorter.
Okay, so like, am I the only one who thought that was odd, or no?
Well, I think it was just because of the fact that they gave us 2 women's matches back to back. So they had one of them go longer than the other, because it was like, okay, we're going to wrap this up. Move on.
Mm.
It was more of we're doing this What's that?
It wasn't like, oh, we think Jade's going to be better, so we're going to... Well, not that, but like... Because normally you would see Bianca get longer matches, typically in this,
Yeah, I think they're testing the waters to kind of see how far they can how long they can have Jade go in a match. Because obviously they're going to want to do Jade versus Bianca probably at WrestleMania, probably for a title that one of them will be holding at the time. Most likely Bianca will be holding the title because they already know that she can go. It's just a matter of getting Jade to the point that she can put on a 20-plus minute barn burner, and then just let those two go out there and steal the show. Make them like the main event of night 1.
Which would be nice to see.
Make them the main event of night 2 for all I care. As long as Jade gets her ring time in and can actually go for a decent length match, I would absolutely have no problem watching them go main event night 2.
I wouldn't either. It'd be it almost looked like a men's match because they're both so powerful. Not to, say that they're men, but it'd just be very entertaining in that regards.
Their talent, the likes that we haven't seen since the days of like China. I believe Jazz was pretty ripped, but
Yeah.
mainly I think the main
Beth
comparison that they get
Phoenix.
is China. I mean, Beth Phoenix, yes, but when you consider that the people she was going against were just, well,
Yeah.
divas. So the power game for Beth Phoenix isn't, it pales in comparison to the power game of Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill.
I'd still like to see what she could do against someone her size. As many times as that, Bianca and Jade are doing it now, or probably going to be doing it.
Oh yeah, this is, it's a team that, on the premise of them teaming up, the only thing that I wished for is that the split can come, because you know that it's going to be a decent match and that it's going to be built up very well.
Makes sense too to build up their chemistry working with each other, so when their long matches come, it's more fluid rather than.
For sure.
So it all works out in that way.
We then get a flashback to RKO versus the
You
Bloodline
son of a
at
bitch.
Backlash. We're then following the flashback. We are backstage with the Bloodline, which in my head reads like At Home with Baker Mayfield from the commercials where he's in the stadium,
Rip to those commercials.
right? Paul Heyman asks to speak to Solo alone. So then Tama. Okay, so then Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa just like take 2 steps back. So like they're still right within earshot, but the camera just kind of pans to take them out of frame, so it's like they don't hear everything.
Cameraman's like, well, this is awkward.
Yeah. Right away, we get the "We Want Roman" chants. So obviously, when he makes his babyface return, it's going to be huge.
You know
And
what I
then-
was thinking about today?
What's
Not
that?
to throw us off, is out of everyone who's part-time, Roman has the perfect reason of why it's perfectly acceptable for him to be part-time.
What's that?
Leukemia.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So like when people complain about him being gone, and then I'm praying this never happens, but like it'd be like, oh my God, his leukemia, flared up or it came back, but they got back control of it, and then people are like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm like, weren't you the people just bashing him like weeks ago because he was never on TV? And then you find this out and you're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, no, don't do that.
No, but like when he first came out and said that he had leukemia, the haters on the internet were all saying that it was just a work and WWE's doing this to try and get him some sympathy so that people will cheer for him. And it's like, man, I would hate to be one of those morons that made those comments, because, boy, were you wrong in more ways than one.
That's just a stretch. Like, the WWE would never go that far to do that, ever.
I like to think that they wouldn't.
I don't think they will.
I don't think they would now, but I don't see that as being out of the wheelhouse of He Who Shall Not Be Named.
True.
I mean, the man did fake his own death. But anyway, Heyman tells Solo that he's Roman's wise man, and Solo calls Heyman out for taking Roman out of the draft without talking to Roman, which caused them to fall to the 3rd round, thus taking money out of Solo's pocket, which he needs for feeding his family. Man's acting like this was the NFL draft and it had anything to do with their value contract-wise.
Bro's like, dude, I can't even afford a newspaper right now.
I mean, Solo can't even afford his own suit.
True that.
Solo asks Paul about the look that he gave Jay last week, like it was a cry for help kind of thing. And Solo says that,
Nah, dog, he was just shitting his pants.
I mean, he was definitely crying for help.
He is currently shitting his pants right now.
Nah. Maybe. Probably.
He'd just be smelling that doo-doo.
Solo says that, unlike Paul, he has spoken to Roman since Mania, to which Paul Heyman looks surprised, and that Roman has placed Solo in charge until he comes back. Solo then gives Paul Heyman a hug and tells him he loves him, similar to the way that he did with Jimmy, and the looks on Solo, Tama, and Tonga's face say otherwise. We then get a vignette for Andrade on SmackDown. Like he hasn't already been on SmackDown half the time since returning with the whole LWO thing.
Wait, he has? The vignettes are different.
Yeah. It also had footage of him on SmackDown.
That was from his last stint.
It may have been. I don't know. I didn't look that
And no one
closely.
will ever know.
But it's now time for Angelo Dawkins versus Tama Tonga for the round 1 King of the Ring matchup. And Tama's entrance is dope.
It was alright, but have you seen Randy Orton's entrance?
I mean, the man's done the same entrance for the last decade.
I know.
Uh,
You know who didn't have a dope entrance? Dawkins. Total jobber entrance.
Rude.
Show me the lie.
Tama Tonga starts the match quickly and takes control, but Dawkins fights back into it. But Solo goes for a distraction, but Dawkins just drops him, and then Ford takes out Solo and Tongaloa. Dawkins gets a 2 count off of a massive spine buster, but then Tongaloa sends Ford into the ring post, and Solo hits Montez with a Samoan spike, which distracts Dawkins, and that allows Tama Tonga to take Dawkins out with a jumping complete shot to pick up the win. Following the match, Solo hits Dawkins with a Samoan spike, and they all put up the ones, while Paul Heyman looks absolutely terrified.
Currently shitteth in his pants.
Following the match, we get a vignette for Blair Davenport on SmackDown. Before we head into the main event of the evening, which is AJ Styles versus RKO.
I gotta say something that I didn't say the last time we talked about Randy Orton when he was doing his interview.
Yeah.
Bro, giving me straight 2009 Randy Orton vibes.
Yeah.
Dude, we're about to get some savage ass shit from him, and I'm for it. I'm here for it.
We'll have to wait and see then.
No, I don't want to wait. I want it to happen now.
I noted that the crowd sang along to Randy's song again, and I hope that this becomes a trend.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, it's about time that we get some lively crowds.
Thanks, Francais.
Right? The match starts out back and forth before Randy sends AJ out of the ring, and we head into a commercial break. When we come back, Randy's in control, and Styles eats 4 backdrops on the outside, the first one on the barricade, the second on the apron, and then 2 of them on the announce table. AJ takes control though and begins targeting the left knee. Targeting knees has become a very common thing over the last couple of weeks. Randy Orton rolls out of the ring, but AJ runs around the ring and hits him with a chop block as we head into a commercial break. When we come back, AJ has control, and he's still targeting the left knee. Styles counters the rope hung DDT into a calf crusher, but Randy countered that and started hitting his comeback moves. However, AJ dodged the power slam and rolled Randy up for 2. Randy goes for the rope hung DDT again, but AJ turns it into a hot shot to RKO's leg. Or, my bad, to Randy's leg. I abbreviate things to try and get through writing faster.
I see that.
Yeah. Well, no, you hear it. You don't see it.
Yet.
Yeah, yet. AJ goes for the phenomenal forearm, but Randy hits the rope, causing him to fall. Styles gets a partial calf crusher, but Randy escapes and gets a 2 count off of the power slam that he finally hits. Randy looks to do a superplex, but AJ escapes, and Randy finally hits the rope hung DDT, which I think it's called the Hangman DDT, but I wasn't sure, and I don't want to mistake that for a move that's like Hangman Page's move.
I don't know.
AJ Styles counters the RKO and hits a phenomenal forearm, but Randy gets his hand on the bottom rope to break the pin. AJ sets up for the Styles clash, but Randy hits an RKO out of nowhere to win the match and move on. And that is how the show wrapped up.
Get rid of AJ's trash music.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a brief portion of an interview that he did with, I believe it was Chris Van Vliet, about the new music. And he said it was something, he wanted it to be something that he at least kind of liked, but was different from his old music because he didn't feel that the old music represented the new character. I don't know, I don't think that music is it.
Bro, if he ever has an idea like that again, write it down on a piece of paper, crumple it up, throw it in the trash, take the trash out, put it in the trash bin, and set it on fire. And then don't have an idea like that again.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a lot better.
What was wrong with the original?
I mean,
Randy's had this one for how many years?
Yeah,
he's only changed it once. Both are
technically
very
twice.
good.
Technically, this is his third. Well, I mean, I guess if you want to get technical, this is probably like his 13th or 14th song that they've changed like 1 or 2 notes in to give it revamps. But overall, this is the
overall
third.
The same thing.
Yeah, overall, this would be like the third song. Because he had Burn in My Light, he's had Voices, and at one point, what was the song? This Fire Burns by Killswitch Engage. You know, the famous CM Punk theme from before he had Cult of Personality.
Seriously?
That was Randy's song for,
oh God,
I want to say like 2 weeks.
Thank God. They probably forgot the sound guy for his stuff, so they're like, oh, you gotta use this guy, I guess.
But no, I think AJ was due for some new music. But that ain't the answer. However, unfortunately, we're stuck with it.
Dude, Shinsuke got new music a long time ago, and everyone thought that was a banger. And I think it's the first time in a long time where I've said like I don't like this new music at all.
Yeah, it's definitely something. Um, I saw a thing online that said that Randy had gotten, like, Def Rebel had made some new music for Randy that was supposed to be like similar to Voices, but Randy and Triple H both shut it down.
Finally, some common sense.
Yeah. That concludes the Smackdown recap. Once again, I've been Dylan Graves. He's been John Sutton. This has been WrestleRecap. If you want to support WrestleRecap, you can like, share, and subscribe. You can comment down below and tell us how we're doing. You can find us on Facebook at WrestleRecap, and you can find us on X at WrestleRecapYT. But until next time, goodbye.